Hey guys, what's up? Rich Redmond here. I'm at the end of day 3 of our 2011 tour, Rehearsals, here in Nashville in a big warehouse. And Jason's doing some media, so I thought I would take this time to show you guys what my gear is for the year. I'm still using these beautiful Sonar S Classic drums, and these are all birch, and it's 12, 16, 18. And the kick drum is a 24 by 17 and a half, and I'm using the Phil Rudd signature snare drum. It's 5.5, chrome over brass. It's an affordable drum. It's less than $500, and I use one of these S hoops on here to not only give me a great sounding cross stick, but to also, it actually saves my sticks a little bit. As you can see, you probably couldn't tell here, this is some dead tree here after 3 days. That's what I do in rehearsals. I just go through my trees. I kill some trees, and then for shows I use fresh sticks. Been with Remo a long time. I love those guys, and actually a lot of guys here in Nashville, we use these smooth white Emperors. It's a double ply head, and I record with them as well. Clear ambassadors on the bottom, and let's see what else. CS Black Dot or an Emperor X here because I'm a hard hitter, so I go through a lot of snare drum heads. For pedals, I do like the giant step pedals, the Sonars, but I just am a DW 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 guy from way back. I use these Danmar wood beaters, and you gotta have a flam slam in there because you don't want to go through the bass drum head during a show. I use a household pillow on the road, and in the studio for muffling I use one of those DW kick pedals. This is a Power Stroke 3. I really like those. This is a new invention from my friend Bill Bachman. He is a great clinician, graduate of the University of North Texas, but he developed this thing called the Remote Speedy Hat. And as you guys know, most remote hats have terrible latency with the cable, and he's used this super tough grade of cable that can take up to 500 pounds of resistance. And what the remote hat has done for me is that it has allowed me, it's freed up all this space in here, so I have to do less crossing over. So by moving the hat out just a little, I've given myself a whole lot of more swing room to do some more wider backbeat strokes and some more kind of visual type drumming. So the Remote Speedy Hat, you're going to be hearing a lot about them. I'm going to be using them around town in Nashville and for my clinics, and then of course it is now part of my setup on the road. Sabian, been with Sabian a long time. These are 16-inch prototype hi-hats. Very similar to the AA Rock type sound, but these are really cool. Not too heavy, just perfect. I'm getting a lot of compliments from the guys in the band and my front of house guy. And also this year, I usually use 2 19s or a 19 and a 20-inch crash. And this year I have all 3 19s. And what I did is I added another crash here on my left side just to go for just total 80s rock, so I can choose between these two cymbals for musical reasons and for visual reasons. Okay, I also use this product called the Blow It Fan that's going to be coming out. It's going to be distributed by Guitar Center, and Musician's Friend has it. And yours truly will be on the box with Erskine and Jason Bittner. We're going to do an episode, I'm going to do a vlog on choosing your click machine and then programming clicks and playing with clicks. But basically I use an Alesis SR18, and I use a quarter note pattern, an eighth note pattern, and a 16th pattern with shakers, and I have it split 2 sides. One side is what I call the female, is just a shaker, and I send it to everybody in the band, and then my side is male, and I have it's enhanced with tambourines and congas and some more fun things to play with. That runs to a foot switch that I use to start and stop the programs, so I don't have to free up my hands or have the accuracy to reach over here, and because you don't want to hit the wrong button. And then I have a little light here that helps me on the dark arena stage. I also use some of these quick sticks, stick and drink holders. I love these. Proud endorser of Audio-Technica microphones. We have 57 on there today, but we're waiting for some new snare drum mics to come in from AT, so I love their stuff. Also, ProMark drumsticks. As you can see, there's my drumstick. It's a 5B wood tip. I go through lots of these, but to me this is just the perfect weight stick. I really love these sticks. So ProMark is fantastic. It's the largest drumstick manufacturer on the planet, and they're very into education, and so that's why I'm on their team and they're on my team. I stick the sticks in these awesome Danmar stick holders, and I have like every color of the safari. I have zebras, I have leopards, you know, it's just kind of gaudy, and I like it, kind of goes with my personality a little bit. So 16-inch hi-hats, I have 3 19-inch crashes, I have either a Paragon or a Devastation China, and I really want to try the new Chad Smith China that has the holes in it. And then this is a 24-inch AA rock ride. They make them up to a 21, and I had this special ordered, and it's kind of reminiscent of the Bonham pasty big beat cymbal. And then I have a remote hat right here without a pedal. I had a pedal last year, but then I had 3 pedals here on the side. It was just a little confusing. It was 3 pedals on here and then my foot switch, so it was a little bit much for my taste. So I just adjust the tension on this to suit per song. It could be a real tight sound or it could be real sloshy. For a cowbell, I was using Sonar cowbells for a while, Rhythm Tech cowbells, but what I found is just from the way I play and playing, you know, Will Ferrell arena rock cowbell, I needed something with a lip on it because I kept just bending the hell out of my cowbell. So I went to an LP Ridge Rider, and my friend Brian Butts did some really cool inlay and artwork on my cowbells, but the clamp did not work. It wasn't fitting this, so I just have that as a souvenir at my house, thanks Bri, and I use this generic block here. All the hardware is, except for this and the remote speedy hat, is all Sonar. And let's see, for my butt kicker, people are like, do you use a butt kicker? Yeah, I use 2. And I call these my rectal Evan roots. Somebody really laughed when I called them that. But basically, this just takes the low end from the kick drum, and since we don't use giant wedges, it just takes the low end and it lets me feel it in my bottom. And what I do to get a really good kick drum feel to the throne is I use a D drum. I use a D drum trigger, and then that runs into an Alesis DM5, and we take that electronic spike and we send it to the butt kicker, and there's less latency than using just a regular kick drum signal. So the stick holders are in stereo on either side of me. My stick bag goes right there, and I always have ProMark hot rods. I always have some sort of a mallet, and I always have some brushes. If you're going to be a working drummer, you've got to have those 3 things. And then I fancy myself a percussionist that's really paid off really well. So what I did this year for arena shaker is I took a Rhythm Tech studio shaker and a Sonar shaker, and I duct taped them together, and it's got a real nice feel to it, and it's a lot easier to be heard. I always have an extra snare drum and some extra pedals on hand. And then I'm always experimenting with a couple of toys, like this is the new Rhythm Tech stick ball. I'm always experimenting with that. I was going to see if I can incorporate that into the show. And then I've been using some cool headphones, so when the guys are, let me just grab these real quick. When the guys are doing their stuff and I got to work quietly on my programming, I just grab my new Extreme Isolation headphones. They have the EX25s and the EX29s, and they're really fantastic. They're perfect for drummers because you don't want click bleed, and they also protect your hearing. Okay, to lock the kit into position, I use these drum plates, roadblocks. And what's really cool about it is if you don't have a drum tech and you want, or you're a really hard hitter, I find that these things really help my cymbal stands stay in place. So I lock them down with these drum plates. Here at the front of the kit, let's see here, for the 5th year in a row, I'm using a Woodshed Percussion, woodshedpercussion.com. My friend Dominic makes these awesome drum heads, and everybody in the business is using them. They're affordable, and he could get essentially the logo of your band, your logo, any artwork you want placed on a bass drum head. And it's a normal bass drum head. It's whatever you want, he will put on the head of your choice. So I have a new drum set coming in April, but until then, this is my S Classic rig. I've added an additional cymbal and the remote speedy hat, and we're going to be doing 75 shows this year, 75 road dates with Jason Aldean, so check out jasonaldean.com, and be sure to check out Rich Redmond, redmond.com, and of course, for my speaking engagements and drum clinics, please check out crashcourseforsuccess.com. Awesome, guys. We look forward to seeing you on the road, and we'll talk to you soon.